Hi everyone, my name is Lee Reich. Welcome to Springtown Farmden. Today we're going to prune tomatoes. So why would I want to prune tomatoes? You don't have to prune tomatoes. You get fruits that are a little earlier, you get fruits that are a little bigger, you get fruits that are cleaner because they're up off the ground, away from slugs and things like that might be on the ground. You get a little less disease because you get a lot of air circulation around the vines. But one thing I personally like about pruning tomatoes is that it makes the plants really nice and neat. You got these nice rows of plants. If you've ever seen the Godfather movie, Don Corleone, remember he had those nice neat rows of tomatoes? Oh, I got those tomatoes too. And then the most important reason why I prune tomatoes is because you get more tomatoes. And isn't that what it's all about? We want more tomatoes. There's two types of growth habits in tomato. One is called indeterminate and the other is called determinate. Determinate tomatoes, stem grows a certain length and then it's capped by a cluster of flowers. So all further growth is from side shoots. And then side shoots will grow, and then each of those side shoots is capped by flowers. And then, well, you know where it goes from there. Here's an indeterminate variety of tomato, and you'll notice it has this ever elongating shoot, and the flower buds and fruits come off the stem. And in the leaf axils, you can get these shoots, and these shoots could keep growing too. So if you don't stake tomatoes, you have to put them like 6 feet apart. So how do you know whether you're growing determinate or indeterminate tomatoes? Basically, you just look at the seed packet. This one, for instance, Nepal tomato, is indeterminate. Me, I don't grow any determinate varieties of tomatoes. One advantage of determinate varieties, they do ripen all at once, so they're really good commercially, but they have a leaf to fruit ratio that's not as high as indeterminate tomatoes, so their flavor is not as good. If you want the best tasting tomatoes, you grow good varieties of indeterminate tomatoes. Pruning tomatoes is really simple. So you have a single stem, and you want to keep the plant as a single stem. And I go through this about once a week. Here's a shoot, here's a leaf, and there's a shoot coming out. Anything in the leaf axil you pull off. It's nice that if you just snap them off, there's no disease transmission because nothing's touching the inside of the stem. But if they're too big, snapping them off might damage the plant, so then I cut them off like that. Here's one that was so big it actually dropped off. So I'm just gonna finish that job. Oop. It's very important to look down below because tomatoes are really quick growing. So you need one special tool when you're pruning tomatoes. This is it. It's called string, about this long. And what's often recommended is tie the string around the post and then around the plant. I'm not sure what that does besides this, as long as the string is above a joint so that it doesn't slide down. And this is quicker. And I got a lot of tying to do. And you can use anything for tying as long as it's not too thin so it doesn't cut into the vines. So towards the end of the season, you can imagine these plants get quite high. And what some people do, they just pinch the tips and supposedly that makes the fruit ripen faster. I don't necessarily think that's true, but you know, they start to make side shoots and they get over the top here. So what I do at the end of the season is, you know, as neat as I like it to be, I just let them go wild then. It's out of my control.